Well, hello everybody from my old bedroom at my mom's house that I haven't lived in since 2021. And my mom is also quite literally having work done on her house. So I mean that like actually, I do not mean that in the sense that in Saving Summer, Summer's mom was having work done on the house constantly. No, like my mom is actually like, there are detached cabinets everywhere. This room is pretty much untouched, except for the fact that like it's kind of become a storage room. So I'm like trying to find good lighting, a good place to set the camera. I'm holding on to it right now. But I'm only at my mom's house for a couple days because we're house sitting for some friends. So I wanted to film something here that I'm like, what's something that I can only do while I'm here? Obviously you've seen the title of this video, but I have to find a place to set y'all because there's no way that I can hold the camera while I do this video. I did not think that through. Also, I literally was wearing my same yellow UD alumni sweatshirt that I've been wearing in the past 2 videos and realized like there was no way I realized there was no way I was going to do a third video wearing the exact same outfit. But I'm also at the mercy of whatever I left at my mom's house. So happy 15th birthday to me. When I tell you like that's not the worst option there was, but like it was slim pickings. Like let me show you what the pickings were here. Like I did not leave very much clothes here. This is genuinely from 8th grade. Like this is a sweater I wore in the 8th grade. I do not think I could get this over my head today. So I like the pickings were slim. And I saw this and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not celebrate my 15th birthday again? Because I'm gonna be 30 in a couple weeks now. So, you know, it still fits. Granted, I bought it to be oversized when I was 15, turning 15, but yeah. Anyway, let me pause this, find a place to set y'all. All right, sorry if this is like an awkward angle or awkward lighting. No, this is not good lighting. I did not bring any source of light. So we're having fun with that. Is it better or worse if I turn like the actual overhead light off? Oh, that's so much worse. Okay, we're not gonna do that. Do I have like literally any lamp in this room? Okay, is this acceptable? Okay. So we are improvising, we adapt, we do lots of things here. I don't even remember the last time I filmed anything in here. Whatever it was is probably long privated now. Speaking of things I don't know the last time I filmed that are long privated now, I cannot remember the last time I had sugar in a video. If you don't like dark jokes, just skip ahead like 30 seconds. But my sugar baby asked if she could be in a video with me today, and how could I say no to that little face? So for the first time in I don't know how many years, but whenever the last time was, it's probably been privated for a long time. We've got Sugar joining us for a video. All right, now to get into the actual topic of today's video. You've probably seen there are 2 topics to today's video. If you don't care about me reading my childhood writing, if you are not interested in that, I'm gonna put a timestamp here. You can skip ahead to just the part where I talk about what's coming in 2026. But if you're interested in in me reading my childhood writing, God help you, but here you are. Okay, so I have a fat stack with me. We're not gonna read every single page of all of this, but we're starting off strong. We the storage bin I had to defile to find these things, man. But we are starting off with the one that started it all, Jessie and the Boots. Yeah, Jessie and the Boots. I thought it was called The Problem with Boots for some reason. I don't know. So let me take you back actually, because this was not the first book I ever wrote, but it is the first one that like was ever like bound, and I genuinely don't remember what the first book I ever wrote was, or if I still have it in storage anywhere, or if I threw it away because I looked at it and said I never want to see that again in my life. But to set the stage for you, I am in 2nd grade. The year is 2003. My teacher, Miss Herringhouse, greatest of all time. We love Miss Herringhouse in this house. She has introduced a writing corner to the back of the room, and she read us some books and she put templates for us to make books that are like those books. Now, around this time, I feel it important to mention that I had also read Ramona the Pest for the first time. independently, because the third graders were reading it with her. It was a combination second, third grade class, and the third graders were reading it with her, and I was like, I want in on that. So I checked the book out of the library and read it by myself. Or possibly have my parents read some of it to me. I don't remember. But the point is, that book was fresh in my mind. And there's this scene that like vividly stuck out to seven-year-old me, where Ramona wants red rain boots instead of ugly brown ones, something like that. And so here we have Jessie in the boots. Jessie is based off one of the reading buddies I had when I was in first grade, who I definitely didn't have a crush on because I was definitely straight. What are you talking about? That was definitely not foreshadowing, but anyway. Yeah, so she was based off of that person. And I don't think anybody figured it out, because like there were like 5,000 Jessicas in the school at the time. It's still a pretty common name. I have multiple friends named Jessica now who are not the same person, or anybody that I knew in elementary school. But anyway, yeah, so let's just dive right in, I guess. This one's gonna be nice and short because I was 7. Let's start with the cover. We've got, this is quite literally me learning how to draw a rain boot. And then there's rain coming out of everything but the rain cloud. Well, I guess there's some coming out of the rain cloud. I don't know why her boots are blue in this picture, and then like 2 of them I remembered are supposed to be white, I guess, because it was red boots or white boots. But it says red boots are my dream. And I think that's what that's supposed to say. Also, number 8 was my like attendance number. That's how we did like count offs and stuff. This says red or white, just one of them. This is her dreaming of red boots, which is why this says red boots are my dream. This says caramel taffy, spelled wrong. It's caramel. And this is a band-aid, which I guess, I haven't read this in so long, y'all. So I have no idea if the band-aid is actually part of the story or not. But there's me with an incorrect timestamp. It was definitely not 1998. But there's me reading this book to my class in the 2nd grade. It was probably February 22nd, because there's still a lot of Valentine's decor up. Look at that computer, man. Look at that in the background. Like, okay, anyway, nobody cares. But it's dedicated to Mrs. S. I guess I didn't know how to spell Miss Seringhouse, but I dedicated it to Mrs. S because I like her a lot and she's nice. All right, so Jessica was going to the candy shop to get some taffy, so she grabbed what was in her piggy bank and went over. And here's the picture that goes with it. We've got a TV with antenna for some reason. This was 2003. I don't think anybody in my family at any point while I was conscious enough to remember anything owned a TV with antenna, but okay. I think that's supposed to be her bedroom, and then that is her, and that's supposed to be money. I want to say that's supposed to be money, but again, I wrote this in 2003, and I'm about to turn 30, so yeah. I can't tell you exactly what was going through my mind when I was 7. All right. Then she got her taffy and walked some more. Then she bumped into her friend and saw that she had new boots. Jessie only had her old boots. She wanted red boots, and why couldn't she take the shortcut? So I guess the shortcut was, I don't know what the shortcut was supposed to be, but here's the rain coming from absolutely no clouds. That's actually me making a cameo. I don't know why I'm all red. But yeah, like I know my boots are supposed to be red. I don't know why all of me is red. But anyway. That's, yeah, that's the little secret cameo from me that only I would understand. Then she ran to her room to scream in a pillowcase. Then she ran out of her room into the store, forgetting to take off the pillowcase. How may I help you, young lady? And why are you wearing a pillowcase? I need red boots, said Jessie. All right, so we've got Jessie screaming in a pillowcase. I was trying to learn how to draw braided hair. That was not good. That's her room. That's our school, Athenauer School District for some reason. Don't know what this person on the ground is supposed to be, or if that's me again. I don't know. And then this just says wanted red or white boots, I guess. All right. How come? Asked the salesman. Blue's a nice color. I want red, said Jessie. Okay, I'll get red. Spelled A-L-L. I'll get red. He said, the salesman. So she ran out and yelled wahoo before the salesman could say goodbye. So she went to her room and watched the news. It's supposed to say news, but it says news. The news is rain all day, and I guess that's her mom popping in saying, why do you have red boots? Because her mom's like, I didn't buy you red boots. The end. But then there's a little meet the author back here that I thought I would go over. So it's my name, Olivia L. There were 2 Olivias in the class, so we had to use our last initials to distinguish us. Shout out to Olivia M. If she was watching this, she's probably not. Age 7. I'm an expert at reading books I make. Specifically books I make. Not just reading books, but specifically books I make. My favorite book is Junie B. Jones, which I did not make. So I don't know why I'm going back on my word here. But yeah, Junie B. Jones was a classic. Love her. R.I.P. Barbara Park. Yeah. My best school subject is reading because I do well at it. What I like to do most is read because it's fun. Bring back this energy. If I had the reading stamina that I had at 7 years old, my Goodreads would be exploding right now. When I grow up, I will be a teacher. Well, we got one thing, right? Other books by this author. The Mysterious Tongue. I don't remember writing that. I don't remember what it would have been about. So we're just gonna ignore that because I don't know. It says turn to see more books. And then I wrote a whole list. Now I think this was a TBW, like a to be written list, not books I had already written. But let me tell you if I remember what any of these either were supposed to be or if I actually wrote them what they were. Jessie Shrinks, Buddy Underwater, The Big Snack, Carnival Crash, Cheese Fair, Trip Means Trouble. Okay, so I remember Trip Means Trouble. I would love to find it in storage because all I remember is this one panel, like this one drawing panel of it, was somebody falling down the stairs and the next panel just said concussion time because I had just learned the word concussion. And I think that would be a really great reaction image. Anyway, the library book. Friends or Not, Be Careful, A Big Day, Who Will Be Bad, Superhero. Oh, it's here, I don't know if that's supposed to be part of the plot, H-E-A-R-O, or if I just didn't know how to spell hero. Mystery. Superhero mystery? Mystery's on a different line, so I don't know. Jessie's Boots and Micro Pet. Do y'all remember Micro Pets? I had Coco and Chumsley, and they were the cats, and then I got Bob for some reason. I think his name was Bob. He was a little dragon thing, and his brother, who was also a dragon thing, I don't remember his name, and I did not like them. I was like, why would my parents buy me these? I just want the cats. But yeah, Micro Pets, those were like the precursor to Neopets, I think. Well, I mean, Neopets was around at the time, but like, that was like the trend at my school before Neopets. And then boot books, because apparently this was going to be a series. The Boot Problem, The Problem with Boots, and Stolen Boots. So, all right. And then this, let me make sure there's no last names on this. This is where people in the class could leave comments or feedback. So that was Jessie and the Boots. That was where it all began. And Miss Seringhouse, when you would finish writing a book, she would get it bound and you would read it to the class, like I showed you in the picture. I don't think I explained that. That's why this is bound. But yeah, this is my first published book. Started from the bottom, now we're here. And I don't have a copy of Saving Summer with me to... Alright, so yeah, I don't have a copy of Saving Summer with me to be like, started from the bottom, now we're here, but started from the bottom and now we're somewhere. And yeah, this is just what I always think of when I'm like, this is where it began. This was where my love of writing just truly began. And just like was solidified because Miss Seringhouse made me believe that I could be a good writer. And so thank you, Miss Herringhouse, for promoting this mediocre book that I wrote in the 2nd grade, and which then went on to lead to so many things down the line that were less terrible, and eventually Saving Summer, and eventually Lost and Found. Yeah, okay. So that was that one. Now I have a few others. I'm not gonna read all of them, but I just wanted to show y'all the Super Olivia series, because I wrote about myself a lot, and I don't have the full series, unfortunately. I'm missing, let's see, I have 1, 4, 5, and 6, so I don't know what happened to 2 and 3, but I know I wrote this one at my grandma's house, because my grandma would always buy all this random art supplies from Michael's and Joann's if stuff was on sale. I don't know if that's my friend Sarah signing this, or if I wrote Sarah on it, because I had a book character, recurring book character, which we'll get to. Her name was Sarah, but that was also my best friend's name in 3rd grade, so I don't know. No relation, by the way. The character was created before I met real life Sarah, so I don't know. But this is Super Olivia. Dumber? No, oh, number 1. Probably is dumber, but yeah, but it has these foam stickers, so that's how I know that I wrote this at my grandma's house. All right, the year was 2002. I just realized what this word is supposed to be. Technology. Technology was the most advanced ever. There were cell phones and computers. Computers is spelled right, not Windows Millennium Edition. That's what my grandmother had. And then I guess this is what my grandmother's cell phone looked like. I'm just gonna read this first one, and then I'll like take a peek at what the plot of the other 3, 4, whichever ones we have were. There were VCRs and TVs. Again, I did not have ever in my life a TV with antenna on it. I don't think anybody I knew did. And one 6-year-old girl was super. She had a sidekick, Freddie the hamster. I forgot about my hamster. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a drawing of him. I'll put like a real picture of Freddie the hamster, and you can see how great an artist I was. He was 1 year old, but they saved every day, like when the computer crashed. That's a real emergency now. And of course, my grandmother had Windows Millennium Edition, so of course this was a frequent occurrence. Oh no, the screen is blue. I didn't know that I knew that blue screen meant death back then. Like, I thought that was something I learned about like when I was way older. All right, so they went inside the computer. Screen color, blue, pink, or my face, and changed it to the right, R-I-T-E, one. So those are the options, blue, pink, or my face. I think, oh no, it wasn't blue screen of death. It was my grandmother's wallpaper was supposed to be me, I'm pretty sure. And sometimes it would glitch out and replace it with like a plain blue background, if I remember correctly. Yep. All the icons are back and her face was the screen again. Okay. What are the icons? We've got Freddy Fish, Putt Putt, Elmo, and Maisie. You know what's so funny is I bet I have all of those games in this cabinet right here, because in 2020 I went through a phase of like digging up my old Windows XP computer and playing all my like favorite childhood computer games and left them in my room. So I bet they're all in that cabinet, but I'm not gonna look for them. That's not what this video is. All right, so we skipped 2 and 3. What happens in number 4? It says Super Challenge Poor. All right, well, there's a meteor coming to Earth. Is Freddy still my sidekick here? Because this is very different handwriting. I don't see Freddy. But we destroyed the meteor, or I destroyed the meteor. Cool. I think Freddy probably died by that point, not gonna lie. I don't remember when he died, but he was a hamster. He was a dwarf hamster. He did not live. Like, Sugar was about to turn 14. Freddy did not quite live that long. But it says Super Challenge Purple Rocket. Oh, this was creative. I used some of the foam pieces to make a cape. Oh, this is, there was this thing called Color Wonder from Crayola where it was like you could only color on like the parts of the paper, so there was no mess with like special markers. So I cut that out and put it here. It still smells. No, it doesn't. I was gonna say it still kind of smells like Color Wonder. It doesn't. Oh yes. Oh yes. They had like secret, like there'd be squares and you'd reveal what was in the square, or circles. I know shapes. Wow, so this is just completely inspired by my Color Wonder coloring book. Okay. There is a shark in the water. She kills it and saves the day. You know, straight and to the point. I was not about dragging it out back in the day. I was like, let's give just the most essential details. Let's not go on whole tangents. Don't know where that went, but I was just straight and to the point. Like, purple prose who? I was trying to go somewhat chronological. I just stepped in something. But we're just gonna go in the order of whatever is in the stack. So we've got a few notebooks that, again, I am not going to read the entirety of, but I just wanted to go over, like, sometimes what I would do is I would buy a brand new 70 sheet, one subject wide ruled notebook. And I would see how far my goal was always to like fill up the whole notebook with the same story. When I saw my neighbor actually do that with a much larger college ruled notebook. But I wasn't quite there yet, you know? But this was back when I was really good at writing on paper instead of typing. Like, I prefer to do it this way. This one is, I would write the title of the book on the cover of the notebook, and this one was called The Nerd Love Rampage. This was one of my favorites that I wrote. It had to be fourth grade, third or fourth grade. Oh my gosh, and they're supposed to be on AOL Instant Messenger, and I wrote like screen names for them. I had never used AOL Instant Messenger because my parents didn't want me to have fun on the internet. They wanted me to be safe on the internet, and they were like, absolutely not. But I had friends who did, so I just recreated it to the best of my ability, you know? Oh shoot, somewhere, I don't know, I didn't see it in the stack. Maybe I was actually insane and brought it to Delaware with me for whatever reason, but there was a whole notebook I had in 5th grade that I filled up with like stories I was trying to write for Neopets, for the Neopian Times, and none of them ever got published. The ones that eventually did get published, which you cannot have the links to, were not from that notebook, but that was what I would do in class every day when I wasn't like having to be doing something else, was I would try to write the next Neopian Times hit story. And I had a whole notebook full of them, and I have no idea where it is. I'm hoping it's in Delaware because it's not in that stack. So I don't know. But this was, one day I will do a deep dive on this one, but this is, I wrote this in 5th grade. I read Pictures of Hollis Woods for class, and it permanently altered my brain chemistry, and I was like, I'm gonna write a book like that. And so it was like memories of my first, it was like memories of, because basically I was going through a little thing in this era of this portion of 5th grade where like I was very nostalgic for 4th grade because my boyfriend at the time had moved away. Hi Jake, if you're watching this. We're both gay now, but I was like very nostalgic for like those days, and like they changed the playground or like the lunch, they changed something about the school structurally that was like just not it for me. I had undiagnosed autism. I did not do well with change, so I was very nostalgic for 4th grade. So I wrote like basically Pictures of Hollis Woods, but about me being reminiscent for 4th grade, which if you've ever read Pictures of Hollis Woods is not quite the same sentiment. But yeah, we got first picture bus. I would love to do a deep dive on this someday because I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this one. But that day is not today, so we're just gonna throw that in the stack, and maybe next time I'm home at my mom's house, I will do a deep dive on that. I don't know. This is my story that I took to the Young Authors Fair in 4th grade. You can see it even has like a little sticker from when I went to the Young Authors Fair. And a little bookmark, May 14th, 2005. My dad actually had this like actually bound in like a leather binding at some print shop or something. I don't know where that version is, but this was the original folder that I submitted it in that has the sticker on it. And this was the center of a doily that I cut out to be a heart shape because again, my grandmother was addicted to buying anything that was on sale, but especially craft supplies for me. And it's called Sarah and the Prom Night Blues. And as you can see, graphic design was my passion. Certificate of merit. This was not this is not worthy of merit, but I like to play with fonts. We got some Comic Sans going on up there. These are probably not licensed for commercial use, but you know, it's the Young Authors Fair. I wasn't selling this, thank goodness. I don't know where this picture is from. This was definitely not a royalty-free image. This is definitely from like some doll clothing website. What my dad tried to do is he tried to scan in as many of the pictures that I drew from the original writing of this as possible into the computer when I typed it up. But not all of them scanned well, or not all of them were good enough. So, and it starts off, of course, with Dear Reader, because I've always been a Swiftie and I just predicted she was gonna have a song titled Dear Reader. Just kidding. It starts off with Dear Reader because I was very, very into a series of unfortunate events at this time in my life. Like, they were my life. Reading those books was my life at this point. So I, in the style of Lemony Snicket, wrote, Dear Reader, I see you are reading my series. However, this love story does not end in tragedy, but with an odd explanation of a missing thing. Also, it provides prom night's tips, but don't try this at home. If you push your ex date into a punch table, you will be sorry, because that's your last date for a long time, maybe for centuries. In many of these books, Sammy will always leave her jacket someplace. Sarah will be treated to a date to the prom, a terrible accident, a black jacket, and a burning secret which may destroy her life. The last person you'd want to copy is Serena. Also remember to never dump a boy or girl just because they want to be with other people too. Everyone deserves freedom. There's so much to unpack as I'm reading this, so. Okay, so I had to, basically I wrote this about me and my crush at the time, Jake, when I realized I had feelings for him and did not have feelings for my third grade crush, whose name was Damon anymore, who did not like me back. Have I shared the Damon lore? I feel like if you want to know the Damon lore, it's buried somewhere in my autistic representation and saving summer video. But anyway, yeah, he did not like me back. But he didn't go to our school, so I didn't have to change his name, but I had to change the names of everybody else because I used all people in my class. And you know what, screw, I'm just gonna tell you who's who. So Sammy was my friend Daisy, who I guess was like, I think if I remember correctly, she had a thing for like leaving her jacket places, like she was always losing her jacket. So I made that a bit. This was a series. This was the first book in a series. I just don't know where any of the other ones are. And the other ones didn't go to the Young Authors Fair, so this is special. Serena was this girl in my class named Danielle who Jake used to date, and they broke up because, not because there was like some polyamory situation going on here, like I make it sound, but because he wanted to hang out with his friends and we were in the 4th grade, so like obviously not the peak of maturity, and Danielle was like, no, you can only hang out with me. If I remember correctly, that's just what I heard through the grapevine 20 years ago. But yeah. All right, and then, so I used Sarah Tabby as the main character because this was the main character of like anything I wrote between like 3rd grade and probably 6th grade. When I started kind of trying to write more fan fiction about my own life, but she was a whole character. Like I could probably fill hundreds of pages with the lore that I created about this character back in 3rd, 4th grade. And it's all like, none of it is consistent really. Like, and like, it's not all consistent with itself. I don't know what I'm saying, but this is like this series is like a standalone from the rest of the Sarah Tabby series because I just needed a placeholder for myself, so that I wasn't using real names. Yeah, if that makes sense. All right, so this is one of my drawings that my dad tried to scan in, and I used line paper for the original, so like he tried to erase the lines as much as he could. When it says Sarah Tabby sat on the second shortest hill in the hazy meadow with a boy she considered just her friend, chewing her second favorite flavor of bubblegum. She had promised another boy that she would go to the prom with him. She had a secret that only she and her best trusted friends, including her sisters, knew. Oh yeah, I didn't have sisters, but Sarah Tabby did, so I like had to incorporate them into this somehow. Everyone thought they were only friends, but Sarah wanted to go further. Maybe the furthest they could, which I don't know what the hell that was in the 4th grade, but okay. Here's a lovely drawing of me and Jake. I mean, Sarah and Mike. Anyway. Her dark blue eyes glistened in the sunset. Her hair, long and dark blonde, flowed gently in the slow breeze, and the purple sky turned black before their eyes. They had to leave soon. By the way, that was... like, she's blonde because I was in denial about not being blonde because my parents always told me I was blonde growing up, and then when my hair obviously got brown, they were like, oh no, it's just dark blonde. Like, it was like 6th grade when I finally admitted I had brown hair. Should I walk home? I forget whose turn it is, she asked. I believe it's my turn to walk you home, said her friend. He knew it was her turn, but he enjoyed walking her home. He had the same secret. They were afraid to tell each other, but they wanted to. If I tell him, it might ruin our friendship, and my prom date might get mad, Sarah told herself. Her secret was burning. So was his. Alright, she called him that night. Hello, who is this? Answered her friend. Sarah, she answered. Oh, why are you calling me at midnight? He asked. I have a secret, she said. Okay, what is it then? We have a test tomorrow, he said. Well, let me do it the easy way. I love you, she said before she could stop herself. Me too, he said with more daydream than self-control. Oh no, Damon's gonna kill me. Sarah turned herself out of daydream mode. Who's he asked her. My prom date, she cried. Oh no, Serena's gonna kill me too. She's my prom date, he realized. Yikes, Sarah cried. I better go then before I accidentally tell you that I let... Ah, bye, he finished. Bye, Sarah hung up. And then I drew a phone. Alright. Sarah had trouble sleeping. So did her boyfriend. Sarah's bunk was pinkish. She slept on the top. Her older sister Samantha slept on the bottom. The bedding was a patchwork quilt with flowers on each square. The pillow had 4 squares. Beside her bed lay a rug with whatever written on it in neon colors. The rest was black. Oh, the limited 2 of this all. Her boyfriend had a blue sleigh bed with patchwork and sports balls on the bedding. How will I explain this to my prom date, they both thought. So we've reached the end of the era where I left out unnecessary details. But I drew the bunk bed. Alright. Chapter 2. There are many bad situations a girl can have. Sarah was headed to the first problem on popularity. Boyfriends. Many boys, including geeks, liked her as a girlfriend. The geeks have bad luck with her, but others she likes back. She helped set up for the prom with her date, but kept her secret to herself. I don't know what any of that has to do with anything. Anyway, this was the Centerview High prom night. Alright. This was my favorite picture that I drew. I'll show y'all when I'm done reading this part. Damon, there's something I need to tell you, Sarah muttered. Yes, Sugar Plum, I'm listening, he said. Okay, first of all, don't call me that. Second of all, I'm gonna try to do it the easy way, she mumbled. Are you breaking up with me? Damon asked. Well, sort of. Alright, I admit it. I met another boy who I sort of like as a boyfriend, and yes, but we can still be friends if you want. And he has a good date too, Sarah confessed. I have an idea. I've been seeing other girls. So, after the prom tonight, he suggested, but was interrupted by Serena. What? You're breaking up with me? I never want to see you again, she roared. She pushed her ex-date into a punch and snack table and stormed off. Wait, cried a voice that seemed familiar. Are you okay, Mike? Sarah cried. So that's him getting pushed into the drink table. Ow, my leg, he cried. Not the SpongeBob of it all. Ah, Sarah cried, tears pouring out of her eyes, smearing her mascara. Call 911, call 911, we need an ambulance, she yelled. No, we don't, said Serena, who was just outside the auditorium. Because he doesn't have anyone to dance with, she finished. What is going on, said a girl. Sarah saw that Lily had come to help decorate. I don't remember who Lily was supposed to be. He broke my heart, Serena pushed him into the table and broke his leg, Sarah explained. He broke my heart, Serena screamed, her fists so tight that her knuckles were pale white. But he has no date, Serena laughed. I'll bring him to the hospital, said Lily, but I never go to proms, she finished. I'm always dumped, she pointed out. Damn! Who was I trying to shade there? No wonder my dad made me change the names of everyone. Alright. Lily, go take him to the nurse, cried the principal. No, my mansion has an orthopedist, Sarah cried, fixing her mascara. I forgot the lore that she lived in this like insane mansion that like literally had everything in it, like you would never need to leave. Because I was in the 3rd grade when I came up with this initial lore. Anyway, it's a light scrape, don't worry, he said, standing up. Ah, he fell back down. Ha ha, laughed Serena. I don't think a light scrape would do that, said the principal. I left my jacket in here on accident, said a voice. What happened, said someone else. It was Dean and Sammy. Alright, that was, oh, you know who Dean was? Aaron Gordon. We're like literal, like NBA player Aaron Gordon. We're gonna skip that lore. But my friend Daisy had a crush on him, so I made them date in this universe anyway. That's, yeah, I've skipped over the entire, like, fact that, first of all, Serena pushed him into the table hard enough to, like, snap his leg in half. The principal, who was there, is just like, oh yeah, take him to the hospital, like, no consequences. And she's like, he doesn't need to go to the hospital and get his leg fixed because he doesn't have a date to the prom anymore. Like, his leg's still broken. Anyway, Sarah rushed her boyfriend to her house. You'll be better soon, she said, and I'll be your date. She said, wait here. And that's him on crutches. Did she sign his cast? She did sign his cast. Ooh, it's spicy. Okay. I don't know why I said spicy. That's not spicy. Anyway, chapter 3. Of course, Sarah would have rather had a date she could dance with, but Sarah liked this boy. Sarah, who was quite nice, decided to bring ice with her. She always helped people. She brought bottled water and snacks too, along with some flowers and a card. They drove to the prom in Sarah's car, crashing into several things on the way. Oh, that was also, that was lore that, like, this character was very bad at driving, for some reason had a license. Anyway, I got my license when I was 25. Sarah helped him over to the closest table where they sat down. They didn't have punch though. Hey, what are you doing here? You're dateless, said Serena, who they also noticed hadn't gotten punch. Not anymore, said Sarah. Serena walked to the punch table and poured herself a glass. The prom wasn't what I thought it would be, said Sarah. Maybe it was because I didn't hear the rest of Damon's Wait a minute. I didn't hear his suggestion. I hope he's okay, she finished. He probably is. I just hope James is okay, said her boyfriend. James was this guy named Marshall, who we didn't like. What do you mean? Asked Sarah. Well, not everyone's okay after eating stale food, he said. What's stale food? Asked Sarah. I accidentally let him eat those cookies in your lunch that you said tasted weird, he answered. Oh, that explains why I couldn't find them, and why they tasted funny, Sarah replied. So that I actually had to change because my dad was like, this makes no damn sense. But I had a school bus eraser. School bus shaped eraser. Literally, I have him. Why am I trying to describe him to you when he is quite literally right here? This eraser that does not, probably never erased actually. There's so much lore behind this eraser, but it was like, this was like part of my friend group, okay? And part of how me and Jake became friends, because we used to hate each other. Anyway, that's a story for another day. So obviously, you look at this, you would not want to eat this, right? Like, this does not look like something you would want to put in your mouth and swallow and have in your body, okay? So originally, the, like, ending of that was, that Mike let James, eat Bus. And he probably died. My dad was like, that makes no sense. Don't do that. You have to change it to something else. So stale cookies was what we changed it to. And there's no more pictures because I changed so much about this ending because, like I said, a series of unfortunate events was my whole life. And I'd gotten to, like, the Esme squalor part of the series at this point, and I wrote that, like, Serena and I think Damon were part of VFD, and that was, like, exposed to the prom. So all the rest of the pictures in this book had to do with that. And my dad was like, you cannot do that, you have to change it. And I was like, okay, fine. And then this is meet the main characters. Sarah, a 17-year-old character played by me. She loves magazines and shopping and is extremely kind. Not to toot my own horn. Serena, a girl who can't survived being dumped or dateless and loves punch. I think the punch was, like, poisoned or something in the original. I don't know. Mike is Sarah's boyfriend. Damon is Sarah's ex-boyfriend. Meet the author. Olivia Linder has been writing books since she was about 3 years old. Sure, Jan. I don't know what I wrote when I was 3. I didn't know how to write until I was like 5 or 4, whatever age I was in kindergarten. In this particular series, everyone is her friend or enemy, and she stars as Sarah, the main character. She started Sarah and Olivia when she was in Disneyland in summer 2003. It is practically 2 years old. She plans to do this for a living. Some stories are based on her dreams, hobbies, secrets, or what happens in her life. Maybe her thoughts create her books or ideas from other books. So here, I changed everybody's name, and then in my about the author, I'm like, by the way, these are all real people. This is based on my life. Anyway, but yeah, so Sarah and Olivia, I had a doll that was also named Olivia, but so I'm like, that can't be my name if we're gonna be like, if this is gonna be a story, like we can't both be named Olivia. So we were sisters, and we had other sisters as well in this universe, and so I chose the name Sarah, and then later made a best friend named Sarah. But yeah, me and my mom were in Disneyland, and it was summer 2003 when this all happened, when this lore began. So do I answer these questions? Okay, whenever we'd read a book in class, there'd be a think about the selection question. So I wrote some that I never answered. Why didn't Sarah and Mike get punched? What was Sarah's burning secret? What did she mean by burning? Would you have done what Serena did to Mike? Do you think it was a better idea to take Mike to Sarah's house? Why? These are like the kinds of questions I have to come up with for curriculum stuff now, except obviously on a like more older scale. I can talk because I teach high school, not 4th grade. But yeah, these sound like questions I would try to come up with. I'm like, yeah, we've got some about figurative language, we've got some about like implied things, we've got some about like your reaction to the story, how you feel, what you would do in that situation. Like that, I was on it, man. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what the original ending truly was to that book, but let me tell you, you will not believe what I found in that bin. But the original. Wait, why is it stapled? Oh no, I found Super Olivia 2 and 3. Okay, we'll go back to that. So yeah, here is the image that my dad had scanned in to the computer, and the original chapter 1 that was handwritten out. You can see this literally has Jake and Danielle in it. I don't know why I changed my own name and then put everybody else like actual names until my dad made me change them all. Yup. There's Serena holding a VFD purse. Okay, I'm gonna change the names back to Mike and Serena here. Oh brother, look at Serena. Besides the fact that she's dateless, Sarah whispered. Oh my, she has Count Olaf's tattoo from the series of unfortunate events, Mike whispered. And his girlfriend's purse from the 8th book, Sarah added. But I don't blame you. You're only on book 2, Sarah whispered. Well, 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 look who we have here, Serena said, walking towards them. Now she's talking like her, Sarah said in Violet's disguised voice from book 9. My eyes water as I write this part. Is one of your eyes missing? People will accuse you of Count Olaf or Esme Squalor, said. Those are real people. I did not give them code names because I cut them out of the thing, but Michelle and Mac. Were they dating? Was that? I don't remember all the 4th grade lore, but there's the left ankle with no foot because I wasn't about to give away foot drawings for free in the 4th grade. Can we put a stop to this? It's a prom, not a replay of book 8, Sarah said. Sure, just bring me a date, Serena said. And make it a good one, she added. I'll bring you my old date, Sarah said. But you have to promise to get rid of Count Olaf's tattoo, Sarah added. Get him now, Serena screamed. Sarah fetched her old date. Then she helped her boyfriend to the punch table. There was a 4th chapter? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, no, this is where basically Mike was like, oh yeah, I let Marshall James eat bus. Bus. Okay, well. Oh, and then this was the card. I'm so sorry. This is another heart cut out of a doily. It says, I heart you. And then it says, boys are everything nice. Sorry about Serena. Hope you feel better, from Sarah Tappy. And this one says to Serena, and it's got an eye tattoo on it. And the inside it says, get some manners. Anyway, let's see. So that's how Sarah and her friend became boyfriend and girlfriend. Here are some tips. Never dump a girl on prom night. Never push someone into a table for dumping you. Never confess your love before prom night. Never let a bully eat rubber. Always forgive. Never wear the same stuff as villains. You know, if I want to give some actual prom advice here, no. Anyway, okay, yeah, apparently Mac and Michelle were dating in this because I put, I said Aaron was never ever was or will be my boyfriend, which is correct. I did not like Aaron Gordon. We were not friends. Well, I didn't know he was going to be in the NBA and I would need to use him for clout at some point in the future. So, you know, we were not friends. Super Olivia 2. What was this one? 2 capes. So I'm in a sailboat. Did I just see the word naked? Yep, I did. Okay, well, there's a sailboat missing a sail and there's a cape and I'm naked for part of this. So that's the plot of that one. I didn't draw myself naked, thank goodness, because I had boundaries when I was, how old, 6? I don't know. And then number 3, Super Challenge ripped pants. Ooh, I did draw a booty hole though. I'm not gonna show that, but it's just 2 pant legs and then some fleshy circle here. The sewing machine is broken, and so she borrows her friend's pants, but then her friend has the booty hole pants. Cool. That definitely, you know, in the SpongeBob ripped pants episode, that I'm sure was the inspiration for this, I'm pretty sure he's at least still wearing underwear. Anyway, we've got the Cheer Squad mystery, which is also featuring Sarah Tabby. She's wearing a little Bulldogs cheerleader uniform, and I'm not going to read this one, but I am going to tell you what series what took over my life after I finished a series of unfortunate events and before I started reading the Click books, because I'm going to show you something and you're going to take a wild guess as to what it was. If you guessed Lizzie McGuire, which I did not know was a TV show before I read all the book versions of it from the library, you would be correct. Definitely had a little celebrity crush on Hilary Duff back in the day. But, what do I mean have? Like, honestly, she could still get it. But anyway, I did a little thingy on the back here that I'm not going to read to you. But yeah, Lizzie McGuire, the book series, was quite prevalent in my life at that time. And she would have her little interlude things where, like, in the show it would be like her cartoon self speaking, but in the book it would just be like her cartoon self with a little speech bubble. And so I tried to recreate that. We're gonna skip ahead to the 8th grade. Poetry by Olivia Linder, 3rd period. So this is something I did for class, and I just genuinely don't remember what's in here. We had to recopy a famous poem of each genre and then do an original poem. And I got 84% on this, so thank you, Miss Kennedy, for that. 2 kinds of friends. This is a quatrain. I'm not gonna read the famous ones that I copied in. I'm just gonna tell you which ones I chose, I guess. All right, 2 kinds of friends. There are 2 kinds of best friends. They are similar but not the same. One kind never ends, but the other goes easily as it came. I can't do this, guys. I can't do this. I can't take myself seriously. Best friends are one kind. They're really good, you'll find. But once it seems the best, she'll dump you like you're a pest. True friends are another kind. They're better as you'll find. These are the best kinds of friends because your friendship never ends. This was definitely shade, but we're not gonna get into that. And the famous quatrain that I chose was She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways by William Wordsworth. Next is a haiku. No, it's not. I'm not reading that. I am not reading that. It's about my crush, the guy I liked in 8th grade breaking my heart by not liking me back. We're not touching that. I can't. There's some stuff about past crushes that I can read because it's silly. That I was trying too hard to be serious, and I can't. But the famous haiku that I chose was a haiku by Moritaki. Please tell me if I didn't pronounce that right. Oh my gosh. Not Bus making a cameo 4 years later in 8th grade. Okay, yeah, this is an ode. Ode to Bus. Bus, you were my only friend, a lousy eraser leaving scuffs on my paper, but you were a wonderful friend. Only I can make you talk in that unique little voice. I don't think that was the right voice. I was gonna try to do it, but I don't think that was right. But you made my friends and caused a boyfriend, though now he's my ex by my choice. If I was bored, I could play with you. The teacher would never find out that you were a toy. I would enjoy you, that there is no doubt. You'll never seem stupid to me, yet you do to everyone else. You will have to see, I can't replace you with anyone else. and then I drew a little picture of us. You can see it's not that bad, honestly. Like there's a lot to unpack in that. We're just the famous ode that I copied in here was Ode to Enchanted Light by Pablo Neruda. What's next? We've got lyrics. Good Lord. To be a child. Children have it made. Nobody would laugh at you for your clothes, or the videos you watched, the toys you played with, or how crazy you act. No, I just had really good friends for like a short period of time. Children have it made. Your dreams and games were obnoxious, yet cool at the same time. You could be friends with anyone. The opposite sex had cooties. Children have it made. And the lyrics that I copied in here is from Love is a Place by E.E. Cummings. And then I did a concrete poem called Home is Where the Heart Is. If home is where the heart is, why are so many families getting their kids taken away for abuse and other stuff? Home is not where the heart is. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was gonna be so dark. Wait, let me stress. I don't know where that came from, because I had a great home life. I had a mid home life. I had a not abusive home life. So I have no idea. I don't even think I had any friends going through that. What? I'm so sorry. I can't take that seriously because wait, what? I don't know where that came from. And the one I copied was 400 Meter Freestyle by Maxine Kumin. And it looks like a little swim freestyle thing. Anyway, the last one is an elegy. Oh dear. The school I knew so well. Jeez. In late 2004, we were presented with Prop G. If we voted no on G, the school's Athenauer and Lone Hill Elementary would close. At the time, I was a third grader at Athenauer. We had a yes on G sign in our front yard, but G still lost and I was devastated by the news. I would have to leave behind the teachers, my friends, everything. As a third grader, I didn't really know a lot about what it meant besides the fact that our school was closing. I was mad at the owner of the district for so long. Shout out Phil Kwan, I still have beef with you for this now. Since I would be leaving behind the school I knew so well. And I drew the yearbook, which since I'm in my childhood bedroom, I can actually show you that's not bad. I'm not kidding when I say like, that's literally, that's it. Like, and the one that I copied was If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking by Emily Dickinson. Very different meaning. Oh, and then wait, there's more? Okay, sound devices. I did I'm sorry, this is the picture I drew for the Emily Dickinson poem. Super glue and a broken heart. All right, so sound device poem, it's called Giraffes. Giraffes are tall, they eat from trees. Giraffes have spots, yellow and brown. They are a unique type. Giraffes, only one other animal is of the same species. It is very rare. Giraffes. Giraffes live in Africa, mainly, where it is hot, but they don't really mind. They're used to it. Giraffes find it hard to breathe because of their neck length, but they can manage because they're good. Giraffes. Giraffes are welcome to the earth with a high fall to the ground. Nursing is difficult because of their mother's height. Giraffes. As you can see, giraffes find it hard to do many things, but they manage to do them because they are giraffes. And it just like randomly says giraffes on different sides of the page. Is this even focusing? But I guess, I don't remember exactly what the sound device was supposed to be, but I guess the repetition of giraffes. And the one I copied was Incident in a Rose Garden by Donald Justice. Good Lord, what was wrong with me in 8th grade? The last one is imagery. And it says the next depression. Mind you, the summer before 8th grade, this is the end of 8th grade that I did this, but the summer before 8th grade, I was in Annie at theater camp. In the 30s, no food, no shelter, nowhere to go. No money, no hope. People shiver as they cross the snow-covered streets, wearing nothing but rags on their poorly fed bodies. Scavenging the trash for food, covering from the rain with newspaper, selling anything you can. It's Christmas. No tree, no turkey, no presents. Not even Santa can bring what you need. Cold pavement is where you sleep. Lighting fires with sticks and paper to keep warm. Nothing to celebrate. The 21st century. High gas prices, global warming, poor economy. Could we be headed down the same path? I wrote that in 2009. And the one I copied is called New World by N. Scott Momaday. All right, last one. And this one, I saved this one for last because it's fun. This was from my freshman year of high school. I had just rewatched The Little Mermaid for the first time in I don't know how many years. And I wrote a comic, actually. It's called The Ex-Mermaid Who Was Pushed Out a Window by the Smexy Guy on the Boat. I already hate this. Forgot I used the word smexy and just, okay. Anyway, that is the guy that I liked in 8th grade and then still in 9th grade in the SS Dreamboat. I'm not even gonna, it just, I didn't ever show this to him, thank goodness. And then I drew myself in an alternate universe where I have boobs. Anyway. So there's him fishing and he says WTF and there's hands grabbing the bobber. Right. He says, oh, it's you. What are you doing in the ocean? And why do you have a tail fin? And I say, I sold my legs to the sea witch because her brother told me you were a merman. That is lore. Okay, so my best friend at the time, her name was Eliana. Her brother was in the same class as the guy that I liked, and he would always tell me fake lore about him because he liked to mess with me. Well, I guess I'll take you back to the sea witch so you can get your legs back and continue stalking me from the surface. Get in the boat. And then I'm looking through a box of personal stuff, and he says, I kind of prefer if you didn't do that. And I said, sorry, it's just interesting. I never knew you kept all these notes. Ain't no way he kept all the notes I gave him in 8th grade. Ain't no way. He threw them away, like, immediately. I'm positive. Then I say, mind if I tell you a little story? He says, do I really have a choice? And then there's like 3 panels of like a clock in different positions, and it's me telling a story and him saying, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. And then the 3rd panel, please, I'm begging you, just shut up. Are we getting closer to the damn sea witch? Then I said, actually, you made a wrong turn 6 hours ago. I would have told you, but that was the part where I had a relapse with my 7th grade diary. Not the kind of relapse you're thinking, more like I had a relapse of feelings for somebody I liked before, but from reading my 7th grade diary. And he says, don't make me throw you off this boat. And then it cuts to the next day. And he's dreaming of a weapon to kill me with. All right, the next day, she's in here. No, duh, because it says the sea witch on the door. All right. that's my friend Eliana as the sea witch. It says Eliana S. Witch, cat lady, for some reason. All right, she says, you have some explaining to do. Why do I have to be the witch? I say, it's my story. In your story, I can be the witch. And then there's a box of legs in the background. All right. And then Eliana says, why can't Amanda be the witch? She's fatter. The witch is supposed to be fat. We're not going to talk about the problematic diet culture stuff that was going on in 2010. All right. And then the guy says, just give her her legs back. We already wasted 3 panels on the story. You don't have room to fight. She says, fine. And then zap. And this is my favorite part, actually, because even at the age of 14, I didn't feel comfortable drawing a 14-year-old boy's nipples, so I gave him a shirt. What the? Why am I pink? He says. What did you do? I say. Now you'll still never be together. Next time, don't make me the fat witch. I say, can you at least make him shirtless? And he says, or not pink? She says, no. 20 minutes of being slapped across the face with a tail fin later. It sure was nice of Eliana to give me my legs back and let us stay in the guest room. That's him talking, I guess, off panel. And then I am like in a towel brushing my teeth at the sink, and I say, you think you know a guy, and then he slapped your friend across the face with his tail fin for 20 minutes straight. This story's wrapping up quite nicely. It's just missing one thing, which is, and then it says be smooch. And also, why am I naked? I know it doesn't show anything, but like, why? And then he throws me out the window and I say, I totally saw this coming and it was so worth it. Anyway, that was me reading my old writing. Oh, hello. Hello. That was me reading my old writing. Now to get into the part that some of y'all have skipped to. Okay, so what's gonna be on deck for 2026? All right, so I have some goals for this channel and my writing in general in 2026. Obviously, Lost and Found book release is coming up in 2026. I'm thinking May. Maybe earlier, probably May. Possibly a little bit later, but things are moving faster than I thought, so who knows. I'll get my copy edits back in like a week or so, and I have the cover art and I'm very excited about it. I'm excited to talk about it, but the cover reveal will be when I get the physical copy, which will be after I've formatted everything, which I can't do till I get my copy edits back. So that will be down the line. There will be obviously the cover reveal and more content relating to Lost and Found and the University Story series. I'll probably start talking about the companion novel. Hopefully start editing the companion novel when I get the funds to do so. We'll see how that goes. And maybe try to do some editing vlogs or some formatting vlogs. I don't know. I don't know. I want to start doing monthly book reviews. I was gonna start doing that this year, but didn't. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to do monthly book reviews for like books I read in January and what I thought of them, books I read in February, what I thought of them. I have a goal to read 50 books this year. That's been my goal for the last several years. This year I read 26. So we're getting there. That's the closest I've ever been, but I would have read more because I hit it hard and fast in January. But after I read Sunrise on the Reaping, I needed a moment to process that, and then everything happened with my ex, and then I just didn't read as much because I was just, my head was everywhere. Okay, so I didn't get as much reading done as I would have liked to in the latter half of the year. I am getting back into it. I started getting back into it in October, but no, I didn't quite hit 50 this year. So that's gonna be my goal for next year. And I'm gonna talk about the books that I read or try to. I'm not very good at giving book reviews. If you've seen my Goodreads, you understand. I'm not a professional book reviewer. Something I'm gonna try to get better at, but I thought that would be some good booky content to put on this channel. And just a reliable thing to have every month if I can't think of another video idea. I'm gonna try to do a books I read in 2025 video. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. This lantern is not doing what it was doing when there was better lighting in the house. I'll tell you that. All right. I do want to have a regular upload schedule. I think I was uploading on Mondays, but that can get tricky because sometimes around the time that it goes live on Mondays, I have a planning period, and sometimes I don't have my planning period until after lunch. And I like to do after the video goes live, I like to post on social media with the link and all that, and I can't really do that if I'm busy teaching. And I found that the one video I uploaded on a Saturday, I think it was, I don't know if it's just because y'all liked hearing me read the first chapter of Lost and Found, or if that's just a better day to upload, but I did get a lot more engagement on that video than some of my other ones. So I'm gonna try to upload on Saturdays, which means I'll need to probably film a week in advance because Saturday is usually the day that I film stuff. So we're gonna try to have a Saturday upload day. We're gonna try to have that be consistent. Obviously stuff's gonna come up sometimes where I won't be able to film a video some weeks, whatever. For the most part, I wanna have a consistent Saturday upload day. And I wanna try to get better at pre-filming for weeks that I know I'm gonna be busy. For instance, I want to try to pre-film my first video for 2026 as long as I have the time to do it now. I might start doing more vlog style videos for fun, or just some non-writing content. I still want the focus of this channel to be my books and my writing and reading. So you'll still get that weekly, but I might occasionally experiment with a vlog or something fun, because I did start this as a vlog channel in 2014 and I did have fun doing that kind of thing. I just don't know if it would still be fun now that I'm a teacher and don't really want as much of a digital footprint. But if that's something you're interested in, let me know. If you are only here for the books, if that's all you're here for, you know, that's still gonna be, I'm still gonna upload one of those every week, or try to. So you'll still have that content regularly coming in. And then I got to 100 subs this year, so I'm curious if by the end of 2026, and this is very ambitious, but can we get to 300? And if we do, then I will do a Q&A or maybe something else. I don't know. Let me know what you guys would want if we end up getting to 300. But those are my plans for 2026, and I will see you guys in 2026. This is the last video I'm uploading in 2025. Thank you guys for watching. If you sat through the whole video with all my childhood writing, then you're a real one, and just congratulations on gaining all the bonus live lore that you got out of that. And for everybody who just skipped to the 2026 what's coming part, you're valid as well. So I will see you guys next time I make a video. I hope you had a great 2025. It's been real. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time I make a video. Bye.